Hi, everybody. We are live today with a new author of ours. Her book just came out, and I'm so excited to talk about this topic. It's something that everybody wants to have, but doesn't really want to talk about or not sure how to accomplish it. So, hopefully, this is going to answer a lot of questions for a lot of women and people in general all over the world. So, I have Mary-Beth Newell here, and she has written a new book with us, and it's called Anti-Aging: The Secrets of Healthy Living to Stop the Clock. I mean, you get to learn how to look younger, feel fantastic, and wow the world. So, thank you for being willing to share your trade secrets. Mary Beth, you want to tell a little bit about you, what you do, how you became across these secrets, and what inspired you to write this book?
Yeah, well, I am a registered nurse. So part of my fascination with learning about the body and mind led me to become a registered nurse. I also have a master's degree in science. So I even went further to try to understand everything better. And I was inspired by other ladies. I am a lot older than what I look, and I really feel good. And I don't use any fillers or injectables or plastic surgery. So it's all natural. And like I said, other ladies, when they found out how old I was, a lot of times I would get, what are you doing?
Right.
Like, tell us, please. Tell us what we're doing.
Secret.
And so when I would tell them repeatedly, people would say, you should write a book. So that's what inspired me to write the book.
I love it. And I love the fact that here you get to get information. The readers get to get information from somebody who's really done the research, who loves to do the research, who wants to make sure that these are real medical facts, but, natural ways to do it. Because that's really the question a lot of times. I know myself, I'm not really up for fillers or fake stuff being injected into my body. So I don't even consider those modalities, but I would like to know a better way to just feel better, right? And feel healthier and do it a natural way. So I'm excited to get the book to learn your trade secrets. But I love the fact that, it's, of course, women are going to gravitate to this book, but it's not just for women. I mean, this is really about feeling better, living healthier, looking better on the outside, but really about feeling better on the inside too.
Absolutely.
So, what are some takeaways that you hope people gain from reading this book?
Well, I divided it up into about 5 different headings. So there's exercise, nutrition, skincare, hair and makeup, and something I call self-care. So just as you were mentioning, Heather, you want to look good on the outside, but you also need to feel good on the inside. Yeah. And then I broke it into like little topics within all of those major categories. And I tried to make it fun. Like you're talking to your best friend, and I have incorporated scientific facts I do from the National Institutes of Health, the Journal of Medicine, the CDC, any other accredited organizations. And I give you fun facts so that you understand why you might want to do something or why you might not want to do something. And then because I do work full time as well as an author, and who doesn't have a busy lifestyle? And sometimes you read things and you say, oh, that sounds good. I don't know how I'm going to fit that into my life.
Exactly. Yes.
So giving you tips on how you can fit it into your life.
Oh, I love that. I need that. Because that is the hard problem when you're on the go all the time, right? And you like these options are horrible for me. So how can I make this work? That's a constant battle as a mom too. And like when you're constantly on the road too with the kids, right? Like what are some healthy decisions we can make? Because we all get tired of making those bad decisions, right?
Well, I can tell you, I mean, if you're a mom on the road or if I'm busy, I mean, I do talk about certain facial exercises you can do, and what better way to do it than in the car? Yeah. People might be looking at you saying, what is that lady doing? But you're doing a 2-for-1. You're getting your exercises in, your facial exercises as you're driving.
No, there. I love it. Multitasking in a safe way, but making it all happen. These are great tips. So aside from the takeaway of, feeling better on the inside, looking better on the outside, having a better overall health, you talked about the self-care. So what is something from the self-care section of your book that you're really hoping the reader can take away?
A couple of the areas, one, everyone can feel down every now and then. I have a section on feeling good in 15 minutes. So something you can do for 15 minutes that's really going to get your endorphins going and make you feel better. Another section that really impacted me as I was writing the book is, I call it No Woman is an Island. And a lot of times when you have women, we take care of others. And I had a family member that was very, very ill. I mean, ended up in the hospital for a week. Everyone wanted to help her, and it was no, no, no. And I really reflected on my own life. Being an independent single woman. I mean, the things I even do in my own life that I don't ask for help, So I think part of it was really taking a look at yourself. And, am I the neighbor who wants to help you? Or are you rushing around like a mad woman when you're having someone over for dinner because you forgot a vegetable and someone would gladly stop at the grocery store and get that broccoli for you? So I think looking at that also, how do we view other people? Sometimes it's so easy to get irritated if you run across a crabby person or you're stuck in traffic. And really, how can we change our frame of reference to try to be more kind or understand where that other person is coming from? And like the gratitude, being grateful. I had a friend of mine a long time ago, and he would say, it's a miracle. Everything was a miracle. He really believed in all these miracles. And really, when I started looking around, and it's like, yeah, okay, I'm stuck in traffic for 2 hours because of an accident, but it's a miracle I'm not in the accident. And what can I do in those 2 hours? Do you have a friend that you dread calling because you're going to be on the phone for 2 hours with them? What better time to call that person if you're stuck in traffic for 2 hours? So it's just trying to reframe. And like I said, how do you fit everything into a busy lifestyle and, appreciate yourself more? I think sometimes another thing that sometimes women do is we have a hard time saying no.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, I don't really want to bake all those cookies for the bake sale, or I don't want to do this. But trying to help people, what do you do if you don't want to say no and you feel guilty? What is another way of approaching it and really understanding that you're important too? If you burn the candle at both ends, there's not going to be anything left of you for your family or coworkers. Yeah.
Happens all the time. I hear you. And I'm guilty of it. And people will say, "Well, what do you do for fun?" And I'm like, um, where's that time? So I think it's important to reflect and be like, yes, you might be running in many different directions, but it is very important to take that time, even if it's small. I love the tip of, and looking at it from a different perspective. I too have a friend who's like, every time you're like, "Oh, hey, how are you doing?" And he's always like, "Fantastic." And I'm just like, and it was this running joke for a while. And then he's like, "No, Heather, like, why don't you just say fantastic?" Like, really, when people ask you, "Oh, hey, how are you doing?" Most of the time they don't even really want to know. It's just something we're used to saying. So instead of complaining or letting them know how you're truly feeling or letting them know what's going on, why not say fantastic? How is your day? And, let them have that moment to vent or, catch them off guard or, just have a different perspective. So I think sometimes remembering that the reaction we may want to get from other people comes from how we're using that time, initiating that conversation, the perspective we're looking at. So I love that tip of, okay, it's a miracle I wasn't in the accident. What can I do with those 2 hours, like, other than sit here and be frustrated?
The other thing that, and sometimes I really have to think myself, like if you run into a crabby salesperson, or you were flying and you're getting a rental car and the agent is in a crabby mood. Instead, I think most people's initial reaction is to be a little crabby back, but trying to take a step back and think, I don't know what's going on with this person.
Yeah.
They could have had a fight with someone, something else could be going on. They might not even realize how crabby they're being. It's just step back and, instead of getting defensive with them, saying, it seems like you're having a bad day. I hope it gets better. And you can change that person's whole day knowing that somebody cares about them instead of reacting.
Yeah, great tip. It's very true. And it changes your demeanor because now you've served in a way, right? Versus dressing yourself all up and getting all upset about it. And now your whole day is messed up because somebody cut them off in traffic, or their boss was being, a pain, or something else happened that had really nothing to do with you. I know I try to tell my teenage daughter a lot of times, like, she'll be like, oh, so-and-so was, kind of rude to me, or didn't want to sit next to me or something. And I said, you know what? People are extremely selfish. And so when we accept the fact that 90% of what's going on in that person's brain is about them and not about us, and not take it personally, we're in a better place. So understand that if you got a different reaction than you normally get out of someone, it's probably because something's going on with them and not because they think any less or bad of you. And like you said, being that person that can be like, hey, I noticed something's up, I hope your day gets better. But it puts them in check too, because sometimes I think people don't realize that they're exuding that energy, they're so caught up in that moment. So great tips, not just on aging, but on life in general, right? Just to keep us in our good spot, in our good space. So now back to the anti-aging. What is, if just don't give your book away, but one little tidbit you can maybe give some of the listeners today that might intrigue them to want to go learn more from your book?
Well, now I'm not going to tell you like use this cream or use that cream, because there's a lot of good creams out there. But I don't know if people have heard about red light therapy. So that's like red light therapy that you can put on your face and what it does. Or I do have a topic in there where you can, and this is from research, look 5 years younger and 20% more attractive, according to a study, with something you can do overnight.
Oh, okay. Well, that is a great tip. So, ladies out there, if you want to do something just overnight to get you ready for that big event, that hot date, that big interview that can make you look younger and more attractive, you need to get Mary-Beth's book. It is available now on Amazon in ebook form, coming soon to paperback, and all of our retailers, hundreds across the world wide. And we'll put the links in the description for this live. I'll put it in the comments. I'll go in and add it to the comments. So you want to get this copy. It's available now on Amazon. I'm so excited for this book to come out. I know I'm going to grab my copy today because now I'm intrigued and I want to know what I can do overnight, because, I don't have a lot of extra time, but overnight, or 15 minutes or 5 minutes here and there, I can swing that. I think we all can. Thank you so much for taking time to meet with us, Mary-Beth. Thank you for writing this book and realizing it was better to share your secrets than keep them to yourself.
Oh, of course. That's what we do. We should be doing as a sisterhood.
For sure. All right, Mary-Beth, thank you so much for taking time. Everybody go get the book, Anti-Aging Secrets, from a nurse who's done the research and wants to share. And look at her. She looks amazing. Why wouldn't you want to look like Mary-Beth?
Thank you.
We're not giving her age out. All
But
right.
it's a lot older than you think.
People are going to be messaging and just like guessing numbers to see.
Okay.
Right. Have a great rest of your week, Mary-Beth. Thank you for joining us.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you, Heather. Bye.